what are you doing here? Like, why are you here?
Why are you here? Like, what? What is the goal?
What is the point?
There's no answer.
There's no answer. And I think that's what we're meant to believe.
I used to like wink a lot, and I think my mom, like, for whatever reason, my mom was like, I had a nightmare that Natalie was winking at me.
What?
Like, she's like, you were just like winking at me.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Everybody's singing happy birthday to Natalie.
Last night, John and I, we got a pie because we didn't go out to eat. I was so tired.
Yeah.
We got home after the hotel, whatever. And we get the pie out and everything. And I was like, you know, you could sing happy birthday to me. And he was like, oh, I didn't know that you still want that kid stuff. And I was like, yeah, I want the kid stuff. Like, I want a candle. I want you to sing happy birthday. I want a written card. I don't know if that's a kid thing. So anyway, John sang me a beautiful rendition of happy birthday.
That's nice.
Looking into my eyes.
Oh, that's very sweet.
Yeah. Do you feel awkward when people sing happy birthday to you?
If it's a group, not really.
Oh,
but...
if it's a group, I feel a little unsure of what to do. Like, I'm like, do I sing with them?
No.
Do I conduct?
No, you just sit and just receive.
See, that's hard for me, I think.
Just receive, like, it's my birthday.
Look how good you are at that. It's like, that's the Leo in you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's all about me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, me? Okay.
Oh my God, I love when people sing me happy birthday. That's one of my favorite things.
I always play birthday sex on my yoga playlist.
Oh, okay.
For my birthday, and I always feel a little embarrassed.
Yeah, because that is a very birthday sex.
Yeah. Should I stop?
That is an interesting choice.
Well, by the time it went on in my class on Saturday, we were in Pigeon, like, cooling down.
Okay.
And I was like, you guys, this feels really awkward. Because you're like, it's like we're all like laying down in Pigeon. And then it's like, it's your birthday, but I know you want to ride out. And like, people were laughing so hard. Like, everyone was like trembling, but it's not because they were crying. It's because they were laughing with discomfort.
Yes, that's
And then what's even better is that woman that you just told to take my class.
Yes.
That was the class she took. Courtney threw me under the fucking bus.
No, I didn't know.
She was like, take Natalie's class. You like to move slow? Take her Flow Plus on Saturday.
Okay, listen, I told this woman came to my class, my slow flow class, and she came up to me, she was like, that class was, I've taken yoga all over the world. And that was one of the best classes I've ever taken in my life. She went on to just sing my praises. I was like, damn, thank you.
She loved you, yeah.
My mom was there. She was just like so taken. My mom left before Shavasana to shop, by the way. My mom was like in the back, and she was like, and I was like, she was like, can I leave? And I was like, go girl, go ahead. Because
Shavasana sayonara.
She was like, I gotta go.
Deborah's like, no time for Shavasana.
Yeah, so because she did have a plane to catch, and so she wanted to make sure she had time to shop, you know. So she left. The one was like, I was so worried about your mother because she left right before the best part. Like, this woman was so sweet, and she was like, I want to come back this weekend. Are you teaching this weekend? I was like, well, I teach on Sunday. I teach a flow, but it's going to be like the same class. It's just a flow version. I was like, but Natalie teaches on Saturday. But I thought Natalie taught a flow or a slow. I thought it was a flow. I didn't know it was a flow plus. But still, your energy is so sweet, Natalie. And you're such a wonderful teacher.
Or it's very birthday sex, you know?
You are such an amazing teacher. So I was like, come see my girl, Natalie. And Natalie voice noted me and was like, you sent this lady to my class.
Imagine taking Courtney's slow flow with her mom and it being like just this like transcendent experience, and then you show up to my class and I'm like, it's my birthday and you know you want to ride out. And I was like we were doing Warrior 3 and I was like, the theme was leaning forward and letting go. Hey, our theme.
Love it.
It was a party graha. So I was like, as we shift into Warrior 3, I was like, let go of your 30s, go into your 40s. I was like, come with me.
This lady is like 65.
Yeah.
She's like, been there, done that. I'm trying to lay down.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not here to like get through your existential crisis with you.
Yikes. Well, you know, sometimes it is what it is.
Here's what I will say. You can't be everybody's teacher.
You can't be. And it's okay. And she came and I'm sure she did what she was going to do. She said, she was like, I know how to modify.
Yeah, she did the whole class.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is like,
she's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I did teach for Natalie yesterday because it was her birthday. And we did dedicate, the theme was inspired by your birthday.
Honey.
Yes.
I want to cry.
Oh my God, don't cry.
What'd you do? What did you guys do?
Well, birthdays, celebratory sometimes for some people, but at the very least reflective. So, you know, coming to the mat, you know, it doesn't have to be your birthday. Every time I come to the mat, it's an opportunity to reflect, to release, to celebrate, to acknowledge how we have grown, what information we have gathered, process it, and just to appreciate our existence.
That's
Inspired
beautiful.
by Natalie.
That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. That's right. It's like an opportunity for a little baby ritual.
Yeah.
I always say like baby, small little thing.
Yeah, it is a little thing.
It's a little ritual in your day. That's so lovely. Thank you
Yay.
for that.
Oh, well, duh.
Just saying.
I definitely needed something. I was like, this is what I'm doing.
You're like, I need a theme.
Yep.
Natalie, thank God.
Perfect. It was perfect.
I love when a theme happens easily.
Well, I love when a theme is just given to you. Handed to you on a silver platter. It's my favorite.
Yeah, I would love to hear if people like themes.
Well, it's interesting. I teach, teacher training, and this past weekend we were talking about themes, and I did a little poll, and I'm like, who here likes themes? And about half did, and about half are like, And I'm like, who here likes themes? Likes the idea of theming as new teachers? And like about half, and the other half are like, and it's like, what do you like about it? And it's like, it feels intimidating, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to do that. I mean, I think it takes a lot of skill to theme well and weave it in throughout. I always tell people, I'm like, go simple.
Yeah.
Go universal.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to come up with something super complex. Like, moving from one decade to the next, letting go and moving forward, being reflective.
But I think as a student, maybe the only times that I think I am like, how about a theme is when it feels arbitrary, when it doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the class. That's when I'm kind of just like, oh, you could have kept that. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't really need
or
it.
It's not thoughtful. I want there to be some sort of, I don't know, connection, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, you're picky. You're particular.
I am particular. Thank you.
Speaking of reflecting, it's a full moon in Scorpio.
Oh, you see that's on my shoulders out.
Yeah, shoulders out. We're wearing darker colors.
I'm in a deep red. The Met Gala was yesterday.
Were you inspired?
And there was so much freaking blood red on the carpet. I was like, is this the color of the season? And I don't really like this color very much.
Oh, but it looks good on you.
I found it in my closet, and I was like, oh, I'm wearing the color of the season because it is a full moon in Scorpio, and I got my shoulder out. I'm feeling emo, sexy.
And you're shedding.
And I'm shedding quite literally.
Oh, the phone is ringing.
The phone is ringing. Okay.
Okay, I'll get it.
Okay.
Hello? Oh. Okay, hold on. It's for you.
Oh, it's for me. Hello? Hi. Oh, it's the universe.
Tell her I said hi.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Nat, the universe called.
What did they say?
I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Everybody strap in. I'm about to open some fucking windows. Yeah. That's what she said. That's literally what that bitch said. Oh my God.
Why did she say that? Or they?
Well,
Non-binary universe.
the snakes are shedding their skin.
And we gotta open up the windows. We gotta
We
get them
gotta
out.
open up the windows.
Put 'em out.
We gotta put them out. Because we are surrounded by the snakes. I've had it.
We've had it.
We've had it.
It's such a time of shedding. It's so intense. Is everybody okay?
I mean,
There's so much to talk about.
yeah.
Like there's so much going on and we are getting deep as hell.
I feel like what's interesting is that like there's so much going on is like it's very specific. Because I feel like it's like pointed. It's like this full moon in Scorpio and this Pluto retrograde is like so full. It's like everything else feels like kind of, I don't want to say chill, but like there's a lot of more stability in the other planets in the in the rest of the universe because we need it. Because like this full moon and this like Pluto retrograde situation is like, okay, there's some transformation happening here with these two situations that like, thank goodness we have the Taurus sun. And I think Mercury is also shifting into Taurus as well. Like, and
Weird.
Mercury's been in,
I'm like, what's a Mercury and Taurus? Like,
I know, well, and
interesting.
it's been living in Aries, Pisces since the beginning of the year, like kind of vacillating between those two,
Yeah.
which are two pretty big personalities for Mercury to be living in. And so Mercury moving into Taurus is like, oh, okay, communication feels a little more grounded, you know?
Yeah.
So like, I feel like the rest of the universe for us is like, because we need that as the luminary, the moon, is giving us some big action, some
Right.
drama.
And isn't Mars still doing its thing?
Well,
with
Mars is
Leo.
Mars is in Leo, yeah. Which, well, I mean, that's drama.
And Mars,
drama.
as a reminder, is the planet of war, of action, right? And so it is going to hit that Scorpio moon.
And Mars is the I think traditional ruler of Scorpio too.
Oh, that's right.
So I think that there's bound to be some sort of connectivity there, right? Some sort of like activation there. So Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is the modern ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is moving retrograde.
Yeah.
Right?
As of May 4th till October.
Mars is in, this very flashy sign of Leo. And then we have, Scorpio, the moon in Scorpio, the full moon in Scorpio. So there's something
Connection.
happening. Yeah.
And we have the sun in Taurus as a
Yes.
reminder. So
Thank
we're still in
goodness.
thank goodness. And side note, everybody, these are my natal placements. Taurus sun, Scorpio moon.
Oh,
That's my natal.
right.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
It makes me feel like kind of at home. I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but like when your moon and your sun are lined up with your natal, you're like, this is right. And I do feel like a Scorpio moon is a very intense moon, and I'm used to that. I'm like down. I'm like down to go deep.
It's a lot of depth.
Like people will come up to me and they'll like tell me their like life story or their deepest secrets. I don't know if it's just a yoga teacher thing, but I do have people come to me all the time and like confess things. And like, not like I'm unmoved, but I'm just like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I can handle it. Like I can handle the deep water.
Yeah.
So
It's also your eyes.
my eyes.
Very inviting.
That's my Cancer rising.
Totally. That is your Cancer rising.
Yeah.
It pulls people in.
It's
and
like,
it
I'm
welcomes
here for you.
people. It makes them feel safe.
Aw.
And then you're not afraid. You're not you don't feel I guess you don't feel afraid, or you don't feel hesitant when faced with that, with intensity or with depth.
Yeah.
Which is what allows people then to
Lean in
lean
like
in.
that. Or open up or whatever.
or to open up. Yeah. Absolutely.
Aw.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I do feel like people kind of tell me their business too, and I'm like, I didn't
Well, you
ask
got
them.
your Scorpio rising.
That Scorpio
so that's
rising.
why. You're deep. I actually do feel like I kind of get a little unhinged with you. Like, I feel like even before we had this podcast, like if I would see Courtney like in passing, like she'd be like, "How are you?" And I would like drop a little bomb. Like I would just like say like the biggest secret, the biggest truth. Not secret, just like my deepest truth to Courtney. and then be like, "Good to see you, bye."
Be like, yep, cool.
And I feel like you're just like swimming in it.
Yeah,
You're
just all
fine.
good. Yeah, totally fine. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like you're a judgy person,
No.
actually. I do feel like you're a really open person.
Yeah.
I know you don't like to be touched.
Not a wink.
I used to like wink a lot, and I think my mom, like, for whatever reason, my mom was like, I had a nightmare that Natalie was winking at me.
What?
Like, she's like, you were just like winking at me.
I like the wink, actually.
do?
And I sometimes wink at my students. If I catch their eye when they're practicing, I'll wink at them.
What do they do?
I think they like it.
Do they just go?
Because I think it maybe it disarms them because I think it feels kind of, for some people, it feels maybe uncomfortable when you find your teacher kind of looking at you when you're practicing. So when I catch their eye and I'm looking at them and they're practicing, I'll wink to be like, it's all good.
Let me see your wink. Cute. Can you do both? Yeah, that's a skill. Not everybody can.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
John,
I can do it.
let's see it.
Oh.
Wow. Can you do it without scrunching your face?
Oh, you do it very well.
He can do a lot of stuff with his face. Let's not get excited.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Let's get to
Actually, that sounded dirty. I don't know why I said that.
Well.
Well. Okay, so we got to set the stage a little more.
All right,
so
okay.
We did that. Let's talk about, okay, as a reminder. Sorry, I'm talking too loud. I got nervous. I got excited.
No, I was saying lower the laptop. You was covering your face.
Oh, I thought you were saying I was too loud.
No.
Okay, so we got Sun in Taurus.
We got Moon in Scorpio.
We got Mars in Leo.
Yep. So fixed.
Fixed.
Fixed. This is these are the signs. As a reminder, also Aquarius is fixed. These are the signs that are stuck in their ways.
Aquarius is fixed too. Damn, lots of fixed.
Lots of fixed energy. And I think if you have placements in any of these things, and you should look into where they are in what house, but if you have these placements anywhere in your chart, you might be feeling these transits a little bit more. You might be feeling this full moon a little more. You might be feeling this Mars in Leo a little more. And then also Pluto is conjunct Mars in Aquarius, and Pluto, which is this outer planet, which is what we say Pluto is, the planet of transformation,
I would say.
So it's our planet of transformation, and that is retrograde until October. And I know that you were kind of quoting earlier when we were talking about the astrologer Chris Corsini,
Yeah.
and what he was saying about it being like attached to the collective.
Yeah, because Aquarius is the collective. So when we're thinking about this Pluto retrograde transit, it's less, we might feel it less personally and more on a collective level of just feeling like we can't live with this mask on anymore. You know, like we're transforming societally, we're transforming on a collective level, and feeling like however we have been operating as a society, it just won't do any longer.
Well, yeah, and like just to piggyback off of that, it's like, hey everybody, vibes are off.
Yeah.
Like, we're in late stage capitalism.
Yeah.
And like, we're all kind of trying, I think we're all trying our hardest, at least I think I am, to kind of maintain some sort of normalcy in our lives while we have the current administration that's in place, while we're in this weird wealth gap that keeps getting bigger, that we're trying to continue our lives. We're still buying eggs, even though they're expensive, you know? And like, I just had a birthday. I was like trying to like do something that felt celebratory and not just drop into, I don't know, this kind of like doom and gloom, I guess. But the reality is we can only pretend for so long that we're okay. And then the truth comes out.
Yeah.
And it's like, truth is out there. Vibes are not good.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, I don't know, I may be feeling hopeful because things have to sometimes break down in order to grow again.
And that's Pluto. Pluto is the breakdown to rebuild in a way. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, hopefully we can break this down and go, okay, everybody, masks are off. There's snakes on the fucking plane. Yeah. Let's open the windows. We're sick of the fucking snakes.
Like, I've had it with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane.
I want to watch that movie now.
Sam L. Jackson is honestly a national treasure.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Sam L. Jackson, if you're out there, if you listen to The Universe Called, if anybody who out here knows Sam L. Jackson, send him our way, okay?
Tell him we love him.
Please give him hearts and kisses for us, because we love him here.
God, okay. I wonder what his placements are.
He's giving Sag energy.
That's
for
Sag
sure.
energy.
He is.
Have you ever like tried to like talk with a Sag somewhere and have it be like a quiet thing? It's not an option.
What?
They're loud.
Sages?
Sages are just loud people.
I don't see that.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay.
So, fixed sign energy is gonna be struggling with change.
Yes, absolutely.
Change is not our friend. We want our things our way, I should say.
Yeah.
And when you try to push somebody who's got a fixed sign, they're gonna dig in more into where they're at. I do think like a Leo, because it's a fire sign, automatically changes more. Same with Aquarius. They change more, but it's on their terms.
On our terms, absolutely. Like, I'll change, but I want to do it when I want to do it and the way that I want to do it. That's the thing. And if someone's trying to force me to change, I absolutely struggle with that.
And look, I think everybody struggles with change.
I agree.
Like, one of the themes that I talk about all the time in class is impermanence.
Yeah.
Because it's like kind of this universal struggle that we have in the human condition.
Yeah.
Is like, it's hard when things change.
Yeah.
We don't like change. I mean, what do we say the most stressful things are in life? A move, a death, and a change of your job.
Yeah.
Like those are like big things to change. And then it's like your whole world gets flipped. And so definitely right now, I think we're pushing against change because of the fixed energy. And like, if we're talking about this exact lunation, Taurus is the sun, and Taurus is about keeping things stable and alive. And Scorpio is also fixed, but it's a fixed water, and it's about transformation, and it's all about kind of burning things down so they can be reborn.
Absolutely.
Especially with a full moon, because as a reminder, a full moon is a time to release, to let go, to forgive. Before we go into the Scorpio full moon, before we go into like our lesson, I guess, I also wanted to mention that Venus
is in Aries. Yeah, Venus is in Aries. Neptune is in Aries.
And what does that mean, Venus in Aries, from your understanding?
Well, Aries one is, so talking about Aries first, right? Aries being like the first sign in the zodiac. Aries being that initiator, that cardinal sign that's like, let's get up, let's go. So we're kind of, what's interesting is that we're establishing that there are things right now that are resistant to change, and then there are also planets that are hungry for change, right? So Aries is all about, let's get up, let's go, let's shift, let's try something new. Venus and Neptune being two planets that are itching for that newness.
And I will say, like, I have my natal Venus is in Aries, so I also feel at home there, which is, to me, it's very passionate. Mm-hmm. It's very, let's fucking go. Mm-hmm. If you listen to our episode for the Aries new moon, that gives you that energy of Aries, which is more like, let's try new things.
Yeah.
And so even though we're in these fixed worlds, I also think like this is a time, especially because a lot of our major planets are direct, is like, if you have an idea of something you want to do, if you have an idea for some change.
It's about creating a new way. I mean, Venus and Neptune and Aries is really ripe for creating a new way of doing things. And the thing about this full moon in Scorpio is it's a breakdown. Right? It's a breakdown, like break down, clear out. And there's this other energy that is saying, okay, as this, we break down, we clear out what we don't need or what's not serving us, we can then create something new. Scorpio and Aries are both ruled by Mars, right? In traditional astrology, which has a fighting quality to it. It's kind of time for us to like stand up and fight for ourselves as individuals and for ourselves as a collective. So it's like, okay, go ahead, let it release whatever needs to be released during this full moon, and let's fight to create something new. And it's being written in the stars, right?
It's here, the time is now.
The time is now.
I mean, and if we're ready to jump into it, to me, what you're discussing, what you're expressing is, in yoga philosophy, the practice of a parigraha.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah, what is a parigraha?
So it's one of the yamas of yoga. I think it's the 5th.
It is the 5th.
Woo!
Yeah.
5 is my lucky number. So
I'm like I knew that, but I'm just like saying,
you
like,
feel it.
I'm affirming.
You're
affirming. Yes. Yeah.
So pari in Sanskrit means on all sides. And graha is to grasp. And then if you put an ah in front of something, it's like the opposite. It's translated to non-attachment, non-grasping,
non-greed.
Yeah, which we've talked about this before. Yeah. I feel like it's one of, I don't know, maybe they're all really important, but I'm like, this is one of the most important, yamas on the 8-limb path.
I think we say that every time.
Every time. And so quite literally, it got me thinking, because I did this like last week, and I like called up Courtney and I was like, Courtney, I was just deep cleaning my house. I was picking up rugs. I was moving shit around and like behind, under, and sweeping. And there's so much dust collecting and dirt. And like, John and I moved the couch today. We found a chickpea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you gotta find those chickpeas. They sneak up on you. And so it's a spring cleaning. This full moon is a spring cleaning. A parigraha is partially a spring cleaning and clearing. And when you clean, you give space for something new. One of my students brought me a bouquet of lavender today. So it's like I have space for something new to come in.
Yeah. And you know what? It is interesting because we were talking about the fixed nature of Scorpio, right? Because it is a fixed sign, right? And so the kind of the shadow of the Scorpio is attachment, right? Which is kind of the opposite of a parigraha, right?
Yeah.
Like it is that attachment. And we joke to say like, oh, the Scorpio, you know about Scorpios, like they can be obsessive, they can cling on.
And cling. They don't let go.
They don't let go. I was telling you the other night we were having dinner about my high school boyfriend who might listen to this podcast. So Jamal, if you're out there, hey, what's up? I'm giving a holler. I'm giving a holler to everybody. A holler to Sam Jackson. A holler to my high school boyfriend, Jamal.
Damn, she dropped the name again. We can always beep it out. We don't need a cease and desist on this podcast. It's like, why is there a cease and desist for a yoga and a philosophy podcast?
Guys, should we bleep it out? That's whole.
There's no last name. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. How many Jamals are out there? That's a common name.
Anyways, Scorpio, cling, okay? That is the shadow. And I'm a Scorpio rising, so I get it. Like, I totally understand this want to, like, attach. But here's the thing. When a Scorpio is operating at its best, quote unquote, right? The ability to, like, clean the slate is unbelievable.
They're fearless about it. They're ready. They're like, burn it down.
Like,
They're
it's
like, get the snakes off the plane. It's like very transforming.
Yes, yes. So it's not like when we're talking about cleaning, like a Scorpio isn't like dusting the tabletop. It's not like using Windex. It's like, pull this shit up, get every crevice, like, let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the kind of clearing and cleaning that needs to happen before we can rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say in the sutra, it's 2.39. It basically, there's a Sanskrit version, but it basically is, if we become steadfast and firm in greedlessness, if we stop grasping for things, if we stop trying to possess things, the nature of the purpose of existence becomes clear. Like, meaning if we're not always going, what's the outcome of this? What is my outcome? Let me hold on to that outcome that I want. Then our purpose gets to be clearer.
Yeah.
Like, we get to have clarity to me, be present in what we're doing.
Yeah.
If I'm focused on the outcome, right? If let's say in the context of I'm taking a yoga class and I go, today I'm getting into a crow pose. I'm doing it.
Right.
And then if I don't get it, then what do I have?
Right.
If that's all I was focused on, then I'm left with nothing.
Right.
I think that it's process over product. It's our presence over everything. So if we stop trying to grasp, if we stop trying to possess, we can understand, like, what our purpose might be. It doesn't have to be the most important thing. If we're talking about in the context of our lives or creation, right? We were talking earlier about using Taurus to be creative. It's like, if all we're doing is creating for the purpose of our outcome, like you and I creating this podcast, like we didn't know what was going to happen. Like we were like, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to put it out, see what happens.
Yeah.
Hope for the best. Make sure you subscribe, follow, like, comment. But it's like, for us to do it, and if we're doing it just for the purpose of outcome, then we're left with nothing if we don't get what we want.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think also we talked a lot about when we are more engaged with the process rather than the outcome, then we can start to shift. We were talking about, like, if we are more engaged with the process, rather than the outcome, then we can start to kind of assess like what is the value of this thing that I'm engaging with. Right. So, for instance, if I am doing this spring cleaning and I'm more invested in like the process of going through these things in my closet rather than just like obliterating everything, but I'm invested in this I'm looking at all of these things and I'm going, oh, what is the value of this dress? It once held this value, but now the value has shifted. Oh, maybe this can go to someone else who might appreciate it in a different way. Or maybe this comes to the front of my closet because it's been back there and I haven't been able to wear it. Or maybe, I can actually now send it to Goodwill or whatever the case may be. But in the process of it, I'm actually being able to assess the value of the things that I'm engaging with.
Which is very Taurus.
Yeah.
It's like Taurus and Scorpio together.
Yeah, absolutely. But in doing that, it's a creative process too.
Yeah, that is creative because it's almost like envisioning the future. It's like you're using your present experience to go, what's the future that I might create? I'm moving the dress to the front. Maybe that dress is what you're wearing to that premiere next week or this week.
Yeah, and it's a rebuild is what it is. It's a rebuild, which is what we're talking about essentially, right? Is that like I have to, in order to rebuild, I have to create space. And it doesn't necessarily, and a parigraha is not, necessarily about like, I was just saying like Scorpio, it's like, burn it all down. But I think that there is nuance and it's about being able to be present in the process of burning it all down.
Well, right. And like what we said earlier is like, it's like being an active participant in
the process of change.
Right.
Being an active, because change, I think the reason why I think so many of us suffer through change is because we feel like it's something that is happening to us.
Yeah.
Rather than us being a part of it.
Like an agent for it. Like,
yeah.
Like being like, actually, I'm going to kind of guide us here. You're like being present enough to go, those jeans do not fit me.
Yeah.
I need to go up a size. So I enjoy wearing some fucking jeans. You know what I mean? Like I did that in the last year. I was like, these pants don't fit. It's okay.
It's okay. The more we resist change is the more we suffer.
Right. And I think that it all comes down to a little bit of control. I think that control is a way that people cope with change, right? Like sometimes it's like, well, we want to control things so that we can have this illusion that we have control. And I just don't know if we actually do have that much control over things as much as we wish that we did. Like, I know that I like to control a lot. I think fixed signs in general do. But at the end of the day, I'm like, there's so much I don't have control over. And there's a little bit, perhaps when we talk about a parigraha, it doesn't have to be this big letting go. Maybe it can just be, I'm going to let go of something small right now. Maybe it can be, I let go of that t-shirt. Maybe it can be, I let go of my next breath. I let myself rest. I let go of the need for this pose to be perfect in my yoga class. And I let myself just be in my practice a little bit. Because I do think ultimately a parigraha is a practice of surrender.
Absolutely.
So much of it is. Even not just surrendering, but surrendering in a way that's like, I trust that something's going to catch me when I fall. Like I was teaching in class, like we were doing leaning forward into the new, because I was going into a new decade and I was like letting go of the past so that we can lean in a little more into what's coming.
Yeah.
And part of that is, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm going to practice it. And I was saying, let's keep practicing it over and over, which is very Taurus. So like actively practicing. If you feel like a change is coming, be like, okay.
That's why I always say in my classes, I'm like, let's practice the tools here on the mat so they become more easily accessible when we're out in the world. That's why to me, the yoga mat it's like a training ground, if you will. Like it's because it's like, this is the place to practice all the tools so that when you get back out in the world, then you can, access these tools of your breath. You can access these tools of, leaning into the unknown. You can access these tools of
pausing.
All of the things that you are able to maybe do while you're here, you can also do when you're in your car in traffic. You can also do when you're in the middle of an argument with your,
Boss.
loved one or sure, or whatever, But I love this idea of like, having to lean into the unknown. There is this middle ground between what we know and the new, right? The rebuild. It's the space in between, which is kind of the unknown, the transitional space, and I think that is really kind of what Scorpio. That's kind of what where Scorpio thrives. Yeah. Because Scorpio is all about the death and the rebirth. It is about that transformation. And so it does thrive in this space of like the transition. And so in this full moon Scorpio time, it's like, okay, we can't be in this transitional space if we're holding on so tightly to the stuff that's disallowing us from transforming.
Well, like quite literally making you heavy. It's like having lead in your shoes and trying to move like through the water. It's like you're going to be sinking like a stone instead of letting yourself, I don't know, shift and become a fish.
So you can swim.
Yeah, I never said that before.
Yeah, but so you can fucking swim.
So you can fucking swim, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're going to go flying, but you gotta do something.
You gotta do something. Move. You gotta move.
You gotta move, and we gotta keep moving forward, whatever that is. Even if vibes are off in the world, even as we age, and I do like to always talk about that when we go through the practice of a parigraha. It doesn't mean that we don't feel the feelings that come along with letting go. Like we can get a little melancholy and nostalgic over that shirt we used to wear and be like, man, when I was 21, I was wearing this shirt and what was I doing? And what does that, I'm using the shirt as an analogy, but it's like, it could also be our bodies. It could also be our age. It could also be something else, that maybe a relationship, maybe a career.
Well, I often think that like sometimes we hold on to things because we're afraid that like, we're never gonna, it's coming from a place of lack and of like, there's never gonna be another thing. I'm never gonna get to be that happy again, or I'm never going to be that loved again, or I'm never gonna be that beautiful again, or I'm never gonna be that free again, or maybe I'm never going to be that loved, or I'm never going to be that happy, or I'm never going to be that free. It might not even be an again added to it. And it kind of boils down to like maybe even knowing our worth, believing and trusting in like our expansion. And I think sometimes that's why we hold on to things, because we feel like this might be as good as it gets.
We're afraid.
Fear.
Well, and that to me is fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown. And like, how do we deal with fear is, I mean, sometimes first of all, we got to take care of the scared little person that's inside of us and acknowledge what's going on. But we also, I don't know, like sometimes we just have to face it.
Quite often we just have to face it.
Quite often. I kind of feel like sometimes it's the only way, because like, what else are we going to do? I don't know. And I do think like I like how you always talk about like a full moon is like a flashlight, so it's like we can use this full moon as a flashlight. Like we're like in a wet cave right now.
Yeah.
And we're like, what is down here?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I haven't cleaned this out in a while.
Yeah.
And so using this flashlight to be like, what are we?
Excavate. Get that shit out. Start to get that shit out, whatever it is, like the gunk, the freaking nasties. Get it out of there. Start to move it out.
Get some Drano. We just did that. Our drain was clogged. Am I ruining the moment? John says no.
But yeah, John. Some Drano.
No, Drano's really bad for the environment. We very reluctantly use it.
Yeah, we didn't
It was a
have
last
another
resort.
choice.
I mean, sometimes you have to use some Drano.
Okay, but in this case, we're saying don't use Drano. We're just saying get in there.
Yeah.
We're saying get in, clean it out, move the shit around so that you know what it is that... And here's the thing. Like, I know when something is over. I think we all know deep down.
Whew.
And it's hard.
Yeah, damn.
I actually have a story.
Hard. Okay.
I didn't know I was going to tell this story, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
I worked in retail sales for 13 years
Really? I didn't know
did.
this about you.
for T-Mobile.
Okay.
And it was like my part-time job while I was acting. Like it was always, that was what I did. And from the time I was 18.
Wow.
And so I transferred that job to Chicago. I transferred that job to LA. So it actually afforded me a lot of things. I'm like such a Taurus like that, right? Like I'm like, I know I need some money. I want PTO. I want a 401k. I could make enough money working part-time and get all those things. So I was working... It was like my 12th year with them. I'm like in Beverly Hills. I was living in Eagle Rock. And just for anybody who's not in LA, that is a very far commute.
Yeah.
That is very far. That's over an hour
Yeah.
each way.
Yeah.
I'd work like 5 days a week, you know, being on my feet, working. And I remember one day I was done. And it takes me a long time to be done. Do you know what I mean? Like, I will stay, because I don't want to change. Like, I don't break up with people. People break up with me, you know? And so I was like, I woke up and I was like, I can't go to work. I just can't. Like, I knew it. And I went in so tired, so over it. And this woman comes in and she like asked something about a charger. Like, she's like, oh, do you have this charger, whatever? And I was like, oh, no, we don't. And then she left and she comes back like a minute later and she goes, listen, I know this will sound crazy to you, but I'm a medium. And she was like, today I was driving. She's like, just like 10 minutes ago, and I saw your face in my mind.
Oh my
And
God,
she
I'm
was
getting
like,
chills.
she's like, I saw your face in my mind, and there were these like older women around you, like spirits, like your elders, and they kept on calling you a precious child. And I know this sounds nuts. Everyone's gonna be like, no, it's crazy. Anyway, and she's like, you don't want to be here. You're not supposed to be here. She's like, this is stopping you from doing what you're supposed to be doing. She's like, you need to leave. I'm hearing it from your spirits around you. You're not supposed to be here. And like, she's like, I don't know why she's like, I just saw you when I was driving. And then I something like made me pull in to like look for this charger, even though I didn't think you would have it, which I didn't. And she was like, and that's why I saw you. And guess what? I quit after that. I left. It took me to have like a medium in Beverly Hills come up. She didn't try to sell me anything. She just said it and left. And I was like, I actually felt like, physically, I felt like I had been flipped upside down. I literally felt like all of a sudden the walls were wavy and I was like this. I know this sounds wild.
Ladies and gentlemen, happy Scorpio full moon. Goodbye.
That's it. That's all you need to hear. I mean, what a wild story, right? So I quit. I started waiting tables. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if I was going to make enough money. But I do feel like it kind of made me up-level my teaching. It made me up-level my acting. It made me up-level certain things because I was getting too comfortable.
Yeah.
I was getting too stale. I was getting too stagnant in my life. And I really struggle with that. Like, no joke. It is probably I'm like down to burn things down and try new things, but I also am like, but I'm just going to hold on to the things that make me feel real comfy.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be comfy. And I'm scared. I'm scared of the unknown.
I'm scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
I'm so scared of the unknown.
I'm scared too.
It is so freaking dark down there.
It's like a fucking cave. There's snakes down there.
I know, but like you kind of have to go through the dark to, and also here's what I think. Here's something, oh, this just came to me. Like it's dark down there, but you have to remember that you're the light.
Like
so you can't you have to go through you have to go through. You're the light. You're the light. So like even though it's dark down there, you'll still you light up the darkness.
Yeah.
You're the light.
You'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
And that's the thing. I mean, I think that's like the sense of resiliency that comes with the practice of aparigraha. That's like, hey, we let things go. I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
We got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And like, here's the deal. Like, you know, Courtney and I talk about all these things. We talk about philosophy. We talk about astrology. We talk about a lot of stuff. But I just want to say, like, I don't know. The answer, I'm not perfect at this. It's something I personally struggle with. I just like to talk about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just obsessed with self-help and wellness or whatever. But to me, I'm a seeker. And I think people that like yoga or like astrology are typically seeking something.
Yeah, absolutely.
For better or for worse. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but
I don't think
just being honest.
I don't think it's a good or bad thing. I think it just is.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay for it just to be what it is.
Yeah. And that's why we can use these teachings as reminders. Like a parigraha is not something like you let go and you're done. Like you did it once.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, no, we have to let go again and again and again. And we can do it in little bursts or little moments or little exhales. But it's ultimately a practice, just like anything else. It's a practice.
Yeah.
So we try.
We try.
We do our best.
We just show up. Yeah, we do our best. We show up. And we take what works and we leave the rest. And I think that that's what you're talking about being a seeker. I want to say this. I think that like what you're not doing though is hoarding on to things. You're not hoarding. You're not holding on to things that don't work for you any longer. Like,
well, maybe you aren't, but
I think that that's what it is. It's like that's why I'm constantly curious, and I'm just like open. Sometimes things work and sometimes they don't, and I'm consistent about the practice, and also I allow it to change and adapt and morph, because even in our quest for liberation, we don't want to hold too tightly onto that either.
I love that. Yeah. Because it's like, I don't know, I do want to add on, like, I do think that when you're somebody in the wellness world, I think that there's a lot of this, oh my gosh, like snake oil salesman kind of things going on, where it's just like, we can sort of get obsessed with healing. Like we can sort of be like, I can't do that until I heal this, and I gotta heal this, and I gotta get my trauma figured out. Then I don't know why I had some like King of the Hill or whatever. But it's
you're a snake oil salesman.
Because I'm a snake oil salesman. Yeah, and it's like, oh, I can't do this until I heal that, and I can't get married till I do this thing, or I can't start the new job until I've healed my thing. And it's like, honestly, like healing is a process.
Yeah.
Healing doesn't happen once.
Yeah.
I think that we can get a little obsessed with seeking and healing that to the point that we're not living.
Yeah.
And so like, yes, I mean, we have a podcast that's all about like self-help and care and philosophy. So we're pondering all these things. And it's like, have your rituals for that, and then go out there and be a tourist and smell the roses and then listen to some music and go look at some art and try to live your life, even in the capitalistic hellscape that we live in, best you can.
Yep.
Because what are we going to do? We're healing our entire life, then we're going to die and we didn't get to live?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it's like a monster that'll just keep eating.
And let go of the things that you don't need and allow yourself to change and transform, and be okay with that too.
Yeah, we're just saying, just chill.
Just fucking chill. Yeah.
You guys are okay.
We're going to be all right.
We're going to be all right. And we're going to put some journal prompts on our Substack. That's our new thing.
Yeah, Substack. Check it out. Also, our playlist will go on the Substack as well.
Yeah. And please like, subscribe, share. We are trying to get the word out that we exist.
Yes.
And comment on things. We love to hear from you. Like, I read a few comments from our last episode. It seemed like it really hit with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing, and we love you all.
Yay. Thank you so
Happy
much for
full
listening.
moon.
Happy full moon.
Bye.
Bye.
The Universe Called podcast with Natalie Burtney and Courtney Sauls. Filming and editing by John Meyer. Theme music by Chit Cray, Studio Inertia. Special thanks to Donna and Robbie Falks.